Hey folks, welcome back to another video. Today it's about the tree monster, and I haven't used the tree monster in a long time, but recently I rediscovered it for synthesizing nice low-end Q stuff. So here I have a sampler with a nice little high-pitched snare in it. It's basically just a clap or some noise, and you have a bit of distortion. So that's nice, but you know, using this for a snare is maybe... it's actually better than this way. Using this for a snare is probably too much high-end and too less low-end. So I use the tree monster for that. And the tree monster tries to find peaking resonances in your audio material and synthesizes a sine wave to it. So we just could probably just use here the sampler and use it in parallel with the E snare of Bitwig and just lay down a sine wave below the clap. Something like this. And it's perfectly fine to do it this way. But this time I want to use the tree monster for that. So let's turn it on. And it tries to find peaking resonances, frequencies that are peaking in a certain range. And we can dial in here the range with these two sliders. And I usually go here for the 1K region. And I have the mix knob 100% here, speed knob a bit dialed down. You can see it tries to find here this frequency, which is probably the most resonant, or actually the peaking resonant that goes above the threshold here. So we have also a threshold. So we need to amp up here the speed so the sine partial is reacting a bit faster to the analyzed signal. Not too fast, or it becomes kind of an FM-y sound because the oscillator changes the frequency too fast. Kind of like this, so it's more like a stable sine partial. Maybe we can also dial in here to reach in a bit more, use the threshold. So something like this. And then we have here the ring blend, which blends basically between, if you have this at 0, you only can hear the synthesized sine partial. So it's only the oscillator playing with the analyzed frequency of the input signal. And then when we dial in here the ring blend, we blend in the original dry signal and also amplitude modulate the dry signal with the oscillator. And then we can also use the mix knob to bring in the original dry signal. So something like this. So now we have a sine partial playing beneath the clap sound or this snare sound here, and synthesizing a fitting sine partial to it. Now you can pitch down the oscillator here by -12 semitones, which is an octave lower, to get more like of a deeper, meaty sound. Or maybe 2 octaves, 24 here. And now it sounds more like a snare sound, right? So a nice drum bass snare sound. And you can decide here with the mix knob if you want to have more of the oscillator, more of the snare sound. It's quite a difference, right? And then we have here some distortion. Everything goes into this distortion device to glue it a bit together. So we go basically from this to this. So it's a nice way of synthesizing actually low end to some noise signals or to some random signals. So instead of using you know, some kind of waves plugins where it tries to synthesize a low end to something, you can use the Tree Monster. It analyzes the audio signal for pitch and peaking resonances, synthesizes a sine partial to it, and then you have influence here with the pitch to actually pitch down only the oscillator and maybe go an octave lower to bring in some real deep low end. And with the speed knob here, you can change how fast the oscillator reacts to the frequency changes of the input signal, and of course a threshold here to change what kind of frequencies are left out of the analysis, and also here a frequency range slider. So maybe when you want to analyze some kick drums, you probably go down here to the 100 hertz region or something like this. Maybe you can also use here a different snare sound. Something like this, also high pitched, right? And probably also the same. So something like this. It's also a loop, okay. Key tracking off. So we have this sound. It's also synthesizing here some low end to it. And it's more up to you and what region you're going to, because this clap sound has a lot of frequencies or noise actually going on here in the top region. But in my opinion, the best way is to actually go to the 1K region here, because that's where the magic happens for snare sounds. And then use what you analyze here and pitch it down by 1 octave or 2 octaves and just put it beneath the sound. And I use also here a close region, because I don't want to the oscillator to kind of skip around. As you can hear, it has a lot of noise here analyzing the pitch and tries to oscillate to adapt to it. So it's probably better to use just a close range here. Maybe use a transient shaper here. So it's perfectly nice device to synthesizing low end, in my opinion. Let's see if I find just some kick drums that are need some low end. So this one maybe here, this has not a lot of low end in it. Or actually, turn the key tracking off, maybe use high pass here. So let's say you have this kick drum which kind of lacks low end. So put this out here, put this down. So we go down into this region, or analyze where here you can see it happens something here, some kind of overtones. Bring down the threshold. And then we pitch basically everything that happens here down to 2 octaves lower. So we synthesize our sine partial here and then pitch it down. Maybe a transient shaper again. And then bounce it down. So my tip would be to actually make sound design with this and then bounce it to a real audio file, so nothing changes over time, right? So this kind of can react to all kinds of different changes you do in the sound here. So it's not really stable. So you can, if you want to have, like, you know, you do drum bass and you want to have the same kick drum every time 100%, then you probably want to bounce this here. So maybe do something like this and just bounce it. And then use this kick drum inside the sampler. To have a new kick drum. So it's a nice sound designing tool in my opinion, the Stream Monster here. And it has a lot of uses. It's also nice to analyze basically for kind of a pitch tracking device. So when you want to analyze some vocals, something like this, and you want to put a sine wave beneath the vocals, or you want to use it to analyze some single tonal sounds, then this is really great actually. And I rediscovered this for snare sounds like I showed you here. So nice tip from Polarity today. Use Stream Monster. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time. See you and bye.